Where do the Georgia Bulldogs sit with some of their top quarterback targets in the 2026 class? That's what I'm going to talk about in today's video. And it starts with Jared Curtis. Now, by the time you're watching this, Jared Curtis and his family are in Athens on a multi-day visit. This is a gigantic unofficial visit because, of course, he was in Eugene visiting the Oregon Ducks for a multi-day visit earlier, last week, right? But now he is in Athens, and you can expect the Georgia Bulldogs to roll out the red carpet for the #1 quarterback in the country, former commitment, #5 overall player in the country. This kid is elite in every aspect of the game. He's got incredible arm talent. He can run over you, moves really well. He's got size, but it is the elite arm talent that makes your jaw drop. It really does. This kid is a special quarterback, and Georgia's been on him for a long time. Of course, they had him on the commit list. He decided to open things up. It is now between Georgia and Oregon, and this is a major unofficial visit with the Curtis family in town. They're no stranger to Athens. I believe his family is all in on Georgia already. But it's not going to be easy to win him over against the Oregon Ducks, who could basically write him a blank check, right, with that Nike money. So if NIL is the most important factor in his recruitment, you'd have to like Oregon, but this is an opportunity for Georgia to possibly get some momentum in his recruitment this spring. But he still has those official visits. He's going to be in Oregon for his big official there the weekend of June 6th. A week later, he'll be back in Athens for that massive official visit. And then I think he's going to make a decision shortly after that. So this might not get into July, but he is Georgia's top target. He is the big prize, and Georgia's in a two-team race now with the Oregon Ducks. So right now, he is in Athens for a big visit. We'll see how things go and try to get some more inside scoop there for you in a few days. But he is still the big target and a guy that I can still see in Athens. It won't be easy. It's not going to be a slam dunk, but I can still see Georgia winning him over, but it won't be easy. Now, they have extended multiple offers over the last couple weeks, but the big one is Bentley. He's a guy that I wrote about last week. I made a video on. If you're a Dawg Post member, you know all about this kid already. He's out of Texas. And when Georgia offered last week, I told y'all that it was going to start get interesting, and the feeling towards Georgia was a big one. It was a big deal when they offered. Now he has scheduled an unofficial visit. He will be in Athens next week. So a week from today, March 20th, Bentley, one of the best quarterbacks, not only in Texas, but across the country, will be in Athens. He's the #10 quarterback prospect, the #111 overall prospect. That may have changed on some of the other outlets, but it's just in my notes from when he was offered by Georgia. 6'2", 200 pounds. The kid is a winner. He may not have the same arm talent that Jared Curtis has, but the kid can play the quarterback. He knows the position, right? He knows what he's doing. He's safe with the football. He can make the right reads, and he's accurate. He completed 70% of his passes against quality competition over in Texas. But leading them to an undefeated state championship, which is not easy to do in the mecca of high school football over there in Texas. Led his team to a 16-0 season. 16-0 undefeated state championship season. He threw for 3,330 yards and 47 touchdown passes. Ran for 933 yards and 16 more scores. He did it at 6'2", 200 pounds. I asked our good friend Jason Howell, who works for Texags. He lives in Texas. He knows these prospects out there better than I do. I said, tell me about this kid, because Georgia just offered. I feel like they like this kid a lot. There's got to be some mutual interest. Of course, I was right. Here's what he had to say. He said he's a heavy ball player who is calm, cool, and collected in crunch time. That's one of the biggest factors you look for in a kid. Is he intelligent? Can he throw the ball? But can he play his best when the game is on the line, right? When it matters most, can this kid stick in the pocket and make a big throw when they need him to on a big 3rd or 4th down late in the game? This kid can do it. He's not the most elite in terms of athletic gifts, but he's a well-rounded skill set with a quick release, solid arm. He can change speeds with the ball and throws an accurate ball. He can fit it into some tight windows. Again, this kid has good pocket presence, good footwork. He's fundamentally sound, and he's got good enough arm strength and arm talent, but he's accurate. He's a winner, and he knows how to lead. And like I've said in the past, you don't have to have the best or most talented quarterback in college football to win a national championship, right? This is still a game in the trenches, and you need, strong quarterback play. You need smart quarterback play, a guy who makes the right decisions and doesn't turn the ball over. But that guy needs to be a winner. He needs to have that X factor. Stetson Bennett had it. J.J. McCarthy had it. Will Howard wasn't the best quarterback in college football last year, but that guy had as many weapons as you could ask for, and arguably the best offensive line in college football. So that made things easier for him. But he wasn't the best quarterback in the game last year. And you don't necessarily have to have that to win. Bo Bentley knows how to win, and Georgia can win with this kid. I 100% believe that. So he will be in town for an unofficial visit March 20th. Absolutely a guy to keep an eye on. Moving right along, Landon Duckworth. You know what? I'll go back real quick because Oklahoma quarterback Jaden O'Neal was in town on Tuesday to watch Georgia's first spring practice. Now, this matters because Oklahoma is after Bo Bentley, but I've been hearing that Bo Bentley doesn't want to go to a place that already has a high 4-star, pretty good quarterback on the commit list. I feel like he wants to go somewhere where he's the only quarterback taken, and I think Georgia kind of fits that more than Oklahoma does. But this kid is a 4-star who transferred from California to a high school in Oklahoma City he's committed to Oklahoma. And I think it's going to be tough to flip him. He's one of the best quarterbacks in Texas. I think he's not from Texas. I'm thinking it's someone else. He was one of the better quarterbacks in California, transferred to Oklahoma. Again, I just said that, but I want to be clear because he's committed to Oklahoma, but did take a visit to Georgia. Now, I don't think there's a whole lot of I don't think Georgia's going to flip him. That's what I'm trying to say and what I'm trying to get out of my mouth. But he did take a visit, so it's something to monitor. And if things change, then maybe Bo Bentley starts looking harder at Oklahoma if Jaden O'Neal were to decide to open things up. But right now, he's doing the Dylan Raiola thing, where he transfers from the West Coast to play near Athens. He played at Buford, but as we saw last second, he said, you know what, I'm going to go to Nebraska. That's, a Cornhusker born and bred, right? So that he took off there. So, but I have a hard time imagining Jaden O'Neal transferring to a place right outside of Norman in Oklahoma City and then flipping from Oklahoma somewhere else. But he is a really good quarterback who was in Athens. So I feel like that's important to say in this video about quarterbacks. So I talked about Jared Curtis. Again, he's the top prize. Bo Bentley is definitely a guy to keep an eye on. I don't know how many times I need to say that. Jaden O'Neal was in town, but there's another quarterback that I have mentioned in the past who has scheduled an official visit to Georgia the weekend of May 30th, and that's Landon Duckworth. This is a kid who plays in Alabama, small town, Jackson High School, but he lit it up. He is a dual threat quarterback. He's the number 6 quarterback prospect in the country, number 53 overall. So this kid can play. He can sling it. He can move. He threw for just under 3,500 yards last year, 39 touchdowns through the air, rushed for 650 yards and 12 more scores. That is a total of over 4,800 yards for you Kennesaw State majors out there like me. Numbers aren't really my thing. 51 total touchdowns, though. 51 total touchdowns. I don't care where you're playing. That's a lot. But, this kid is from Alabama and was committed to South Carolina previously, I believe. But he's a guy that has held a Georgia offer, 6'3", 190. So he's got good size. Should probably, add on a little more muscle, a little more mass. But he's going to be in town for a big official visit the weekend of May 30th. He's also got official visits lined up to South Carolina the following week, June 6th. Again, that's where he was previously committed, so there's some connection there. Florida State on June 13th. I'd be very surprised if this kid committed to Florida State if he's got a legitimate offer and a spot to play at Georgia, South Carolina, or Ole Miss, where he's going on June 20th. So unless Florida State writes him a blank check, it doesn't make any sense that he would commit to Florida State over South Carolina, Ole Miss, and Georgia. But you never know with these kids. But we'll see. But that's another, again, a top 6 quarterback in the country who's going to be checking out Georgia at the beginning of the summer. So just a few guys to keep an eye on. Of course, if you're on Dawg Post, you've known about these kids for a while now. And that's what we want to get across. We want y'all heading over to the website because I've already written about this and more. There's some stuff that we write on Dawg Post that we can't share for free on YouTube as much as we love our YouTube audience, but we want to get y'all over to the website. That's where the real scoop is, all the details on the team, on the recruiting trail, because things are heating up right now. I mean, you can say that you don't care about recruiting anymore, but five-star Georgia fans still care about recruiting. I'm telling you right now, Kirby Smart and his staff are still recruiting their butts off because it matters. They don't build the team and the program through the transfer portal. They let other, mediocre programs try to do that. The Dogs recruit from the trail, and that's where they develop and build their program. It's still out of the high school ranks. So if you're a Georgia fan, you still need to follow recruiting. It is still a big deal if you call yourself a five-star Georgia fan. And we have you up to date with the latest and greatest news on the team, on recruiting, everywhere over on Dawg Post. So make sure you're checking that out. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something about these top Georgia targets, because the biggest one is on campus right now. That's five-star quarterback Jared Curtis, again, down to Georgia and Oregon. I think Georgia can still land him, but I think Oregon probably leads this second. We'll see if things change after this big multi-day visit to Athens that's starting today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you over on the website.